So you want to know how playing WoW feels right now? Well, buckle up, cause I'm gonna do a short summary of how the last few months felt for me, and don't forget to bring some salt with you. There is a chance you might disagree with me, but let's be mature about this. Hello and welcome to all of you. I'm Occultes, and today I wanna discuss about how it feels to play World of Warcraft for those of us that still play the game. I'm just one single voice. I cannot speak for an entire community, but what I can do is to bring my perspective. My stance on the game is somewhere in the middle. I don't like how the game feels, but at the same time, I don't hate it that much to the point where I'm constantly negative about it. I still play the game while I hold the banner telling Blizzard, the game is bad, it's time to fix it. And probably I will continue to hold the banner until either Blizzard listens or I quit the game. I personally like reading opinions from both sides. I believe you will make the best decisions only after you have listened to both of them. Sometimes, no matter how many good points you bring to the table, there will always be unreasonable people that will disagree with you, just for the sake of it. And, as a matter of fact, if this video gets pushed by the algorithm enough, both sides will come to it. I hope the comment section won't become a battleground, but if it does, I don't mind some good conversations. There are many arguments going on against playing WoW, and there are also arguments on continuing to play the game. One thing that none of us can argue with is that the story and the systems in the game are not in the best shape. The game has loads of issues, and we are all aware of them, even those of us that are still die-hard fans. Some will say that we are still wearing pink glasses, but I personally don't see it this way. I would say we wear only one pink lens, and that is because WoW had played a very important role in our lives. Not only is WoW a means to escape reality, but friendships and relationships can form as time progresses. I personally had relationships that started in the game and moved in real life. We build memories, and even if we want this or not, we will be forever influenced by the game. One major point that people don't understand about us is that we are not attached to the company itself. We are attached to the feeling of the community and the universe itself, the world inside World of Warcraft. Oftentimes, people claim that if you continue to play the game, that means you are supporting Blizzard and all the bad stuff they did. But at the same time, the exact same people will go on and play Lost Ark, and they don't realize that they are supporting Amazon. And if you do a bit of research, you will know exactly how Amazon works. Just because you play a game made by a company that doesn't have a good reputation, it doesn't mean you support the values of that said company. It's an endless toxic cycle of people pointing at each other, and it's a fight for ego. A fight to see what game is superior or what game has the moral high ground. Well, let me tell you something. No game is superior. There is no such thing as a perfect game. There is no such thing as perfection. There will always be place for improvements. When it comes to the online space, everybody has the right to have their own space, and that includes us too. When you go online, like on Twitter for example, even if you read something negative about WoW, you can just simply ignore it and move on. And in most cases, that's exactly what we do. But it's a bit more common for the other side to not do the same. It's common to see a positive post about WoW get downvoted or spammed by haters of the game. Some can be so serious about this to the point where they try to argue with you why the game is bad and why you should stop playing it, as if the decision is theirs. Spoiler alert, that decision is not theirs. And if you choose to play the game, that's your choice. But even those negative comments, again, can be ignored and should be ignored. The only times I feel it's okay to respond to these kinds of posts is when an actual conversation can take place. If the other person seems unreasonable, then probably it's not worth wasting your time. You will just argue with a wall. Now, what exactly keeps us playing the game? I would say the main reason is our playstyle. The hardcore raiders are still playing because that's what they enjoy. They enjoy the hardcore experience raiding and Mythic Plus can offer. They have guilds to raid with, and that is enough to keep them in game. The hardcore PvPers have lots of rewards to get, such as vicious mounts, gladiator mounts, and of course transmogs, while the casual PvPers simply enjoy doing a battleground and fighting against other players. The third playstyle is the one of the lone wolf, the player that casually play the game to collect mounts, transmogs, titles, or level up characters. This is the biggest part of the community, and this is also the community where I fall into. I could easily do the current content and even hunt to get gear, but to be honest, there is no reason for me to do this, because I know that gear will become useless the next patch and the next expansion. Instead of chasing that, I chase mounts and other collectibles that are permanent. WoW has such a big variety of content for casual players, and this alone keeps the game alive. A lot of the casual content is annoying, that's for sure, but eventually you will slowly get rid of all those annoying grinds and you will not need to return back to them ever again. I would say what matters the most is the way you view WoW. Do you see it as a game where you need to complete all the current content in order to succeed, or do you treat the game as a casual activity? Gaming has changed a lot, and if in the past we were more willing to grind just for the sake of grinding, nowadays this changed. Now people ask themselves first what is the reward, and based on that they decide if they want to grind or not. And let's not forget about the influence of social media. 10 years ago, you wouldn't see so many people going on social media to complain about the game, but in the present day, this happens a lot more. If you are annoyed by a game and you see other people posting about your exact issues, you will be more willing to post your point of view. This basically starts a fire, and with each person that jumps on the bandwagon, more fuel is put on the fire and the fire grows. The WoW community had always been pretty negative towards the game and its grinds. We always made memes about this, but before we would not focus that much on spreading our opinions on the internet, and this gave the perception that players were more happy before. To some extent that is true. The player base was not as negative as it is right now, but each expansion came with bad decisions and the game slowly sank to the bottom. If you allow yourself to look at the bigger picture, you will understand why there is so much negativity for the game, and if you understand why this negativity started, you won't be affected that much if everybody shits on your game, or if they directly attack you because you still play it. Now, saying attacked is a bit harsh, because if you are just an average player, nobody will send you whispers in game to tell you to delete the game. It's not like you will have groups of players follow you in game to pressure you. In general, WoW feels like a ghost town. And it's not because old cities aren't used as much, it's more because you know that many quit the game, you know there is still negativity around, and all that kinda makes it feel devoid of life in a way. If none of this affects you, and if you can just simply ignore social media, you can still have fun in the game. It can be hard to find people for group content maybe, but it's not the biggest obstacle to be fair. Just hop in WoW and do whatever you like, and then go and play some other game, then return back to WoW. Peer pressure can definitely be a real thing, especially if most of your guild quits, or if your friends insist you play some other game with them. I can easily see guilds and friendships shatter if the people involved have conflicting opinions, and if they don't know how to manage a situation like this. At the moment, the community is split into two major groups. The ones that are still waiting for the light at the end of the tunnel, and the ones that gave up on hoping for the game. At least temporarily. I would argue that the main reason people are so vocal and negative is because they've invested so much into the game, and seeing everything go downhill can be discouraging. Bitterness and anger are the main causes of the split that happened with the World of Warcraft community. time gating, endless boring grinds, RNG on top of RNG, borrowed player power, insane raid mechanics and content that expires the next patch aren't new in the game. They've been an issue for a decade already, and the player base had always been vocal about this. But these issues became even bigger because the community had also split. This is the first time when World of Warcraft bleeds so many subs, and as it continues to lose players, all these issues will continue to grow. Shadowlands made more players to quit the game than WoD did, and if you felt alone and isolated in your garrison, now you would feel even more alone. But let's be real, all these issues will affect you only if you allow them to affect you. Just think about what your feelings are for WoW. In today's day and age, being rational and masking your emotions is seen as being the right way to live life. But those emotions never go away. They just get buried and they build up, slowly but surely. Maybe that's the source of bitterness for all the vocal people out there. Maybe it's time to stop running from your emotions and instead understand them. In conclusion, how does playing World of Warcraft feel in 2022? Weird, lonely, but at the same time, peaceful. If you still want to play the game, then do it. Don't let yourself influenced by opinions that aren't yours. In a way, it feels like fighting against the current. If you still love WoW, then don't falter. Let the waves sweep around you. They will pass. I hope this video helped someone out there make a decision. And let me know how you feel about the game in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel, follow me on Twitter or Twitch. See you next time.